Hey everybody, it's Dave Taylor, Big D. We got a big show today. Attorney General Kris Mayes is here. If you have any questions for her, you can put them in the chat. You can also email us at fox10talks@fox.com. Ron Hoon and Celeste Rodriguez will be up here in just a few minutes. Feel free to like this YouTube video, share it, so that way your friends and family can join. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Bye.
Gave it a shot.
$10 and here we go with Fox 10 Talks. Take a look at this image right here, would you? Talk about trouble for SpaceX. Holy cow, things did not go as planned, that's for sure. And now, apparently, there's some sort of a government crackdown headed toward this company. We're going to be talking about it today on Fox 10 Talks. Now, also today, the Attorney General for the state of Arizona, Kris Mayes, is going to be joining us live starting at 10:30, and she'll take your questions. So if you have, you know what, let's do, Celeste?
Yes.
Let's go right to Big D right now.
Big D.
Dave can tell you how you can email us a question. We're going to try to get as many in to the AG when that comes up. So, Dave, what do people do?
Hello, and I love my headroom. It looks wonderful.
Yeah.
But the email address, incredibly easy, fox10talks@fox.com. You send us an email. I'll relay it to Celeste and Ron, and we'll see if we can ask it to Kris Mayes.
Yeah, well, we do say that we are the most interactive show out there, both online and on TV, and this is another example of it. So that's coming up at 10:30. If you have something on your mind, send us that email. Also, now, what comes next in the Allison Feldman murder case? The fact that the Ian Mitcham jury was not able to decide on whether to go life in prison or whether to go with the death penalty has really, kind of opened up a little bit of a legal Pandora's box. So, Celeste, we're going to try to get the very latest. In fact, we're working to check in with our Brian Webb, who's down at the courthouse right now.
Yeah, so we're going to chat with him in a little bit and get some new information on that case. And we're also talking this morning about the tiny town travel trend. So folks are saying, I want to skip the big city, or at least mostly, and I want to focus on some of the tiny towns around the country.
Why go to New York? Why pay those kind of airfares, and then what do you do? Do you, Uber everywhere, take a taxi, try to get a rental car? The hotels are so expensive. There are all kinds of unexplored places across the USA, and we're going to tell you some of the best.
And some of the stuff that you'll see in, around the country in some of these small towns, it's really charming.
Oh,
and it smells really good.
It smells good.
Have you ever smelled Times Square in New York City? Do you know what it smells like, Ron? What does it smell like?
I don't even know I don't even think I want to go down the road of trying to describe it, but it's not good.
It's pot. It smells like pot. They're just rolling it right there on the counter. It's crazy.
We're going to give you a whole list of towns that don't smell. The other thing that we've got coming up today is, we actually just have several big stories for you. Also, our poll question looks like this. Kind of a surprise poll today. What do you think? Pete Buttigieg is now number one among Democrats. Look at this, Celeste. Those numbers moving around as we speak. Who do you think is the best bet? Like a Buttigieg, maybe a Kamala Harris, some of the big names from the Biden years?
Numbers are moving, Ron, as we're chatting about this.
Maybe a governor like a Newsom or a Josh Shapiro or an Andy Beshear or somebody else. Tell us and grab that QR code. All right, let's get on, Celeste, to this big story this morning. The video itself is somewhat unbelievable if you haven't seen it yet, but the SpaceX Starship program all of a sudden is on hold because of what you're looking at here. Things did not go as planned with the latest test flight. According to the government, the launch from South Texas ended with a booster failure. And wait till you see this video here in just a look at this.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Now that is not. That is not the way it's supposed to go. So the upper stage did manage to continue to roll on into its mission and did do the controlled splashdown. But the FAA is saying, look, there were no deaths, no injuries, really no major damage, but everything's on hold now. And SpaceX has to complete its own investigation in cooperation with the government before the feds will allow any more flights to unfold. Totally fascinating to me. The Starship, and it's so in the news right now, SpaceX. And so this Starship program is really the key for the company's plans for deep space.
Look at that right there. Wow. A lot more testing needs to be done.
And the other thing is the video is really quite incredible. Here it is one more time. And so you compare this basically high-def video. Celeste, when I was a kid and the moonshot was underway, we all, like in school, we'd have a big assembly, and you'd have 400 kids, and they would wheel a TV out, like a little 19-inch TV. And you were 42 rows back. Good. And it was black and white, and you watched the splashdown of the capsule somewhere out in a foggy stretch of the Pacific Ocean.
And you're
look
cheering.
at this.
Yeah, you're cheering, though. You see all these kids around and kind of watching what's happening. Yeah. But we can watch it now from all around the world, no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
So science is really incredible.
I know. As a matter of fact, yesterday we unveiled to you the main reasons not to go to the moon. If you've been thinking about applying for that program, you might want to think again.
Yeah, I mean, what sports are you going to play? Remember we were talking about like moon golf, soccer.
Right.
It's going to be very difficult.
Hey, it would be a fun story to tell. I'd rather go to the moon than go to Mars. Anyway, all right. Here we go with some of the other big stories this morning. And of course, wow, what a bombshell, Celeste, in the Ian Mitcham murder case. Look, we're already more than halfway through this case because his guilt has already been established. But even though the 12 jurors could agree on his guilt in the killing of Allison Feldman, they could not agree on the death penalty. You know, I think people have strong opinions, and I'm sure you're asked about this, before you ever go on to a jury. Can you be fair in your, you don't have preconceived notions that would not allow you to move forward with a death penalty?
Correct,
I'm sure they ask those kinds of questions, but it sounds like, I don't know. Right now, we don't know. Was it 11-1 and one juror was holding out against the death penalty? Was it 10-2? Was it 6-6? We don't know. But we're going to check in with Brian Webb, who's actually down at the courthouse, coming up a little bit later this hour, if time allows. The bottom line is this. The judge declared a mistrial. And so I think, Celeste, there was a major development just in the last day or so.
Yes.
When one of the primary jurors, the original 12 jurors, was basically booted off because of some things that she apparently had said to other jurors.
Yes.
Having to do with, I believe she had been talking to her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And getting some opinions about life in prison.
Right.
You're just not allowed, if you're on a case, especially if you're not sequestered, if you're allowed to go home at night.
You're not allowed to talk about the case with anybody.
In any aspect.
No, none.
Yeah. So that being the case, now we really wait to see what's going to happen as it all unfolds. But by the way, Josh Kolsrud, smartest legal mind.
Well, you know what's interesting, too, about this case? I think it's 2015 is when it started.
Yeah.
It went through all these situations, familial DNA. Allison's father was the one that brought up the idea, hey, I saw this being done in another state. He contacted the authorities. He said, hey, is this something that we can use in this case? This case has been held up in so many ways.
Yes.
And this is just the next hurdle, unfortunately. And so I can imagine, her father's passed. What was it, like a month ago?
Just a few weeks ago.
And so her father's passed, and he probably passed thinking, I was able to help in solving my daughter's crime, in her death, and so we're hoping for some sort of a resolution. It's just unfortunate; these are just situations that come up with jurors.
Yeah.
But there are strict rules and policies that you have to follow.
Yeah. Okay. So all of that unfolding as we speak. We are live down at the courthouse. We're hoping to hear from Brian a little bit later this morning. But Celeste. I think this next story might be my favorite story of the morning.
Oh, okay.
Because, let me just make sure here, I don't think we have any names to pass along. Nope, not yet. But we have the details of the hapless diesel fuel thieves.
Oh, my gosh,
who
this
just
story.
got arrested.
They were hauling in a U-Haul trailer.
Yeah. Now, if you have not heard this story, everybody, some people catch our news over the course of the first few hours of the morning, but if you haven't heard this one, wait to hear it. Yavapai County Sheriff's deputies arrested a couple of people accused of stealing thousands of gallons of diesel fuel. And they say the fuel was found leaking from the cargo area of a U-Haul last week. There was a couple of gas stations in Seligman. Fuel is so expensive. And look, there are the tanks and there are the hoses, but whoever these guys are, so it started leaking. I guess these yahoos had no idea, Celeste.
That's exactly what I was thinking. These yahoos.
I guess they had no idea. I mean, literally, this is a case that Barney Fife could have solved, huh? That they were the mud that was created
Yes.
Because of the spilled diesel, the shoe prints led deputies not just to a nearby area, but all the way to the hotel where the guys were staying, probably more like a motel, and took them right to their actual room.
Yeah, it's just wild. I wonder if these guys, I mean, first of all, criminals always do the most ridiculous things, and it's just not smart. First of all, don't commit the crime.
Correct, thank you.
Second of all, then, this Yahoo, taking the authorities right to them. I wonder if they were thinking of selling all this diesel, or they were just going to hoard it for themselves.
Yeah.
But that's actually quite
really
dangerous.
wonder.
It could have actually ended up much worse. When you siphon gasoline, that is
dangerous.
That's very dangerous stuff.
Okay, so there's a quick check of some of the other big headlines now. Coming up, the new trend for this summer, and I love this idea, is tiny town travel. The tiny town travel trend.
Yes.
How's that for alliteration?
Tiny town trend travel.
We are going to tell you some of the best tiny towns, and they're not really super tiny. I mean, you still have to have some stuff to do.
Yeah.
But they're not the big cities.
Right. They smell good, too.
Yeah. And they smell good. So we have ideas for you. And then in about 15 minutes, the Attorney General of the state of Arizona joins us. Celeste, it's going to be a great hour.
It really is. And remember, if you have any questions, send them into our email, fox10talks@fox.com. This is a preview of your mystery camera. We'll be right back.
Okay, Celeste.
Yes, sir.
Guess what? We have a treat here for everybody. You know how I've been saying all day, hang on till 10:30. We have the Attorney General with us.
Yes.
Get into all kinds of important topics. We decided not to make you wait. Here she is. Kris Mayes joins us.
Yeah, early bird gets the worm.
For sure.
Thanks for coming in.
To get here. How are you guys? I'm really.
You know, they say if you're on time, you're really late.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
show up 10 minutes early, 15
I think it's
minutes
only
early.
polite. Yes, exactly.
Good to
So-
see you. Thank you for
great.
coming in.
Thanks for having me. I've
Okay.
been looking forward to it.
We like to start with the hard questions.
Okay.
And then we get to the fun questions later. Right,
Yeah,
Celeste? Isn't
right.
that the way we usually
We'll sweeten
do
up
it?
the deal.
So let me start by asking you this. What would you say has been either your most important case or maybe your biggest accomplishment in your 4 years in office? I have one in mind, but I want to see what
It would
you
be
say.
interesting to see if they match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think that. Can I say two?
Sure.
Can I give you
Yeah, of
two?
course.
There are
Okay.
no rules. It's
No
a
ru-
streaming show.
Okay.
Actually, as Arizona's top cop, you make the rules. So.
Oh, well, all right. Maybe. Yes. I believe in the rule of law. That's for sure. But I think two really important areas. So number one, I have made it a major priority to go after the Mexican drug cartels, and we have now seized more fentanyl under my tenure as Attorney General, 27 million pills, along with our sheriff partners, our local police partners, than any other AG in the history of the state. So we have seized more fentanyl than any other AG, and and we have tried to be innovative in this fight against the cartels as well. When I learned that the cartels were bringing fentanyl across the border using drones, and a lot of drones, and what they'll do is they're attaching the fentanyl to strings on the drones. I said, that's absurd. Why aren't we allowing our local law enforcement along the border to shoot the drones down? And people laughed at me at first. They're like, oh, are you talking about letting them shoot the drone? And I said, yes, let's shoot them down, or let's jam the drones, which you can do. So we passed a bill that allows local law enforcement to do that, and we bought a drone jammer and a trailer system that we are loaning out to local law enforcement. So that fight against the cartels is important. I do about 80% of the major drug prosecutions in the state of Arizona, mostly against the cartels. Secondarily, and Ron, I don't know if this matches with what you were thinking, but we've brought health care fraud, Medicaid fraud down by 92%, especially in the sober living home area. That's something that your station and Fox has been covering in Arizona very closely. In fact, you've probably been leading the way on that coverage.
Our Justin Lum, yeah.
He's
Justin
amazing.
Lum has
Yeah.
been amazing, and so we brought that fraud, which we inherited by the previous administration. Don't want to point too many fingers, but let's call it what it is. We'll call it what it is. Came into office, this fraud was happening. The previous administration, for whatever reason, was asleep at the switch, and allowed $2 billion of fraud to happen in our Medicaid program, in particular the Indian Health Service program. We went to work prosecuting that. We've now prosecuted 144 cases. We have 41 convictions, and we have clawed back more than $140 million from these fraudsters, and probably saved a lot of lives, because this was damaging Native Americans, harming Native Americans. As you know, as Justin has reported, they were bringing them down from tribal nations and putting them in homes, and then not treating them, and also billing our Medicaid system here in Arizona.
Freeing up some of the funding, I guess, when it comes, how does that help other Arizonans in our state?
Well, it helps by making sure that funding is available to Arizonans who need it and deserve it. When fraud, waste, and abuse happens in any government program, it's going to the fraudsters and the criminals. It's harming people. In this case, it was sort of this terrible double whammy, where not only it was taxpayer dollars that was going to harm Navajos and White Mountain Apaches and Hopis who were being essentially almost kidnapped and brought down, but transported down to Phoenix and being harmed. So
were there like medical situations that were not approved because there wasn't funding available?
Well, entirely possibly yes. I mean, because you almost have to believe that that's the case, and also it was crowding out the ability of legitimate providers. I mean, there are legitimate providers. So one of the things that we've done with the funds that we have recovered, some of the funds that we've recovered from the fraudsters, who, by the way, went out and bought mansions, they bought expensive cars and shoes. You wouldn't believe the stuff that we have seized from these criminals and fraudsters. But we took that money and we gave some of it back to legitimate providers to start providing actual treatment for those who are opioid addicted and fentanyl addicted.
Just to reveal to you what I was thinking at the time when I was talking about some of the accomplishments over those first 4 years, I was surprised that the Kroger-Safeway merger was ever proposed in the first place.
Yeah.
And I have a Safeway store that I love that's a mile from my house, but I also have a Fry's store that's about 2 miles. I would drive up and down Signal Butte Road out there in Mesa, and I'm like, well, which one will they close?
Right.
As far as I could tell, you were the most outspoken of any state's attorney general. Why was this case to you so important, and what was the legal grounds that you felt you had on your side to literally try to stop it?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, and I would say with regard to sort of the civil side of our office, that is one of the most important cases, Ron, because we have, and the reason it was important is exactly what you were saying. I thought that the merger of Kroger Albertsons, which would have combined Fry's, Safeway, and Smith's all across Arizona, would have led to store closures. We would have lost thousands, if not tens of thousands, of well-paying grocery store jobs. These are actually pretty good-paying jobs. You can survive on those jobs, and it would have led to more grocery store deserts throughout the state of Arizona. We already have a problem with that, especially in rural Arizona. So we have antitrust laws, Ron, and Celeste, in Arizona. We actually have them. My predecessors weren't really enforcing our antitrust laws. I believe in antitrust. The former Republican in me believes in competition. I still believe in competition, that competition is good and it's good for consumers. And this merger would have led to less competition in the grocery store space, and that would have raised the price of groceries on everybody.
Even more than what we're seeing now.
We're already seeing.
Did you ever hear from either shoppers or employees during the process or afterwards, and what were you hearing? We
did, I think, at least 12 or more town halls all across Arizona, because I thought this case was so important. And I didn't come across, I think, a single person, maybe one person who thought it was a good idea. And I don't know, maybe they worked for corporate, I don't know. But nobody thought that this merger was a good idea, because they, like you, Ron, were worried. They were worried about their own grocery store closing down. They're worried about their neighbors. They were worried about prices going up. They're already suffering under higher rent, higher utilities, higher grocery costs, all of which I've been trying to work on as AG.
Here's a question from our chat. Chad Taylor says, what is your take on needing a permit to feed the houseless in Phoenix? Personally, I think it should be okay any day.
To feed the houseless?
Yeah, in any like city parks and in the public.
Yeah, it's a big issue. It's a big local issue, I know, for a lot of cities. I certainly am very sympathetic to the need, especially right now, to allow organizations like Circle the City to feed the houseless and to feed those who are hungry. Our food banks are under incredible pressure right now. We have so many people who are going hungry because of the cuts to SNAP right now, because of utility rates going up, eviction rates going up. And so I think that's something that's, obviously it's a local issue.
Yeah, it affects cities mostly, not at the state level.
Not at the state level so much, but it's gonna be the kind of thing we're gonna see more and more of, unfortunately.
Something that you mentioned a minute ago was one of my long list of questions. You said the former Republican Republican in me. And Arizona is anywhere from a purple state to possibly center right.
Yep.
Why did you decide to leave the Republican Party?
So, I was a Republican for most of my adult life. I didn't leave the Republican Party until 2019, actually. So, and I'm really, as you guys know, we've known each other since back when I was on the Corporation Commission as a Republican, served 2 terms there. I haven't changed that much. I'm still the gal that I always was growing up in Prescott, Arizona. I was a Republican then. But I felt like the party has left me in some ways. I was very upset by, to be honest with you, the federal government's decision back in 2019, 2018 to put kids in cages along the border. As a mom, I'm the first mom AG. That really, I found to be unacceptable, that kind of treatment of children by the federal government. And then January 6th happened. January 6th is really the reason that I decided to run for Attorney General. My grandfather was a Capitol police officer who put himself through law school as a Capitol police officer. When I saw mobs attacking cops, and now I see the federal government creating a federal slush fund to allow those folks to get access to taxpayer money, I don't think that's okay. I believe in our police officers. I believe in law enforcement. And so I decided to switch parties. But you know what? Arizona's a pretty evenly divided state.
Yeah, it really is.
We're a third independent. In fact, independents, I evenly divided state. And my time as AG has been about being pragmatic. And I go to work every day saying, what can I do to help Arizonans? What can I do to enforce the rule of law? What can I do to make sure that we protect Arizonans against the power of corporations?
When you were talking about the war, we got to take a quick break here.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the second half of your question, Celeste.
I only gave you 2 words, Ron. I'm going to leave you hanging.
By the way, we're still in format. Here's your mystery cam. Give us your guess. We're live with the Attorney General Kris Mayes. Also going to be talking about that proposed rate increase.
And your mystery camera.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. I was about to ask a question, Dave. Dave goes, we're coming up on a break. I was like, oh, yeah, there we are.
All right, Celeste. By the way, I'm going to open the Attorney General's microphone. She travels widely.
Yes, she does.
And if you have a guess as to where you think that somewhat generic-looking downtown is, you can certainly give it to us. But we're getting lots of guesses online.
We are. We're getting Burger Boys. 25 says Texas. We've got a Wisconsin from Outlaw Dynamo and Missouri from Linda Montearth.
Wow.
So, Attorney General, what do you
Yeah,
think?
what do you
I'm
think?
going to guess. So I'm guessing what the it could be anywhere.
In the United States, there's
In
a
the
U.S.
United
flag
States.
there on the top of that
Oh, see,
building.
this
so-
is the
I'm
thing.
saying Midwest, but I'm going to say
Okay.
Texas. I'm going to say somewhere in Texas.
okay, because fairly
All right.
flat, right?
Yeah, but it's Midwest, don't you think?
We
I-
have
probably.
Yeah. What are you going to go, Celeste?
I'm
I'm going with Linda and Missouri.
You're gonna go Missouri?
I'm going to say Linda's got it.
I see a
But
church.
you just chose Texas.
I know. I had to be a little contrary.
This is Celeste. She's like, no, I think I'm going to go all 6 New England states.
I know, right? Well, I
Anyway.
see the church steeple, so it's church-going people.
Oh, it is?
So maybe they're Baptists, maybe like Southern Baptists. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Georgia.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, let's see
Rural Georgia.
what's going on here.
When do we get the reveal?
Right,
right
here.
now.
Appleton, Wisconsin.
Oh, for goodness
Yeah.
sakes. Okay.
Yeah, so there's probably a
Yeah.
good cheese deli in town.
So a few years ago, I took my dad and we went to a Green Bay Packer football game.
Okay.
I mean, if you love football, everybody says you got to go to Green Bay once in your
At
life.
least
Yes.
once to the
You
game.
couldn't find a motel room in Green Bay. We had to go 40 miles away to Appleton.
Oh.
Is that right?
So we stayed in this town, and I keep missing it. This
you
popped
couldn't
up
get a
like a year
hotel
ago.
in Green Bay.
Not on a Saturday or a Sunday of Packer weekend.
Oh, Pack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because they
There's
were all
not that
full.
many motels.
No. Well, what
and
a-
so, yeah, we stayed in right there in Appleton.
What an interesting ownership structure there.
I know.
The people of Wisconsin own the team.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, we are continuing our discussion now with the Attorney General of the state of Arizona. By the way, I'll just mention this now so that we don't forget. Tonight, hold on, you guys.
We will talk ice cream a little bit later this
Okay.
morning.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What
that's
is the
making
big
me
legal
hungry.
case?
Right?
What is the big legal case involving ice cream? There we go. Yeah.
Ice cream brings people together, Ron.
Yes.
It brings people together no matter whether or not you're talking elections
Yes,
or whatever.
true.
Fair.
So we have already had Rodney Glassman on. We've already had Warren Peterson on, and
Yeah.
they are going to be doing a debate, which we will carry live right here on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And Dave, is this also going to be on the Fox Local app? I'm trying to think of all the various streaming options, but for sure on our YouTube channel and TikTok.
And TikTok.
There you go.
Okay.
Where are you on TikTok?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
My daughter made sure I got on TikTok.
Oh,
is that
wow.
right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it was imperative according to my 13-year-old.
Okay.
That is where a lot of young kids get their
It is,
news.
their news.
Yeah.
Yes, the old timer in me doesn't like that, but
Yeah.
it's the case. I mean, that's
Yeah.
where they're getting news.
Maybe we should get into the fun portion of the interview. Still serious questions coming
Yeah,
up.
serious questions.
But you mentioned your daughter, a 13-year-old. Do you think she'll follow you in the law, or does she have a different career path?
She might follow me in the law, but not politics. I think she may not want to do the politics part of this. She's,
Okay. Why?
but
What makes
she's
you
been a
say that?
trooper. Well,
the whole political atmosphere.
Yeah,
kind of?
I think so. But also, she's seen what it costs and what it takes, and as a mom, I wrestle with that question of,
being in the public.
yeah, being the public eye. The death threats are not fun and a bummer, and so. And also, just as a mom, I wrestle with, is this taking too much of my time away from her? And I just hope that she sees, and her generation and her friends see good examples of good governance and somebody who cares about their generation. And I feel like a lot of what we're doing right now is about setting them up for success, hopefully.
How do you balance being a mom and being in the public eye? And this is I'm sure there's lots of late nights, early
Yeah.
mornings, travel. We were just chatting about.
What about
Yeah.
the soccer games,
Yeah.
right? Those kinds of things.
Well,
Where do you carve out the time?
You know what? You have to. You have to make it a priority and say, you know what? Nothing is more important. I can remember Grant Woods. You guys remember Grant Woods?
yeah.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Who said he made it a rule rule. He was always home at night. He never missed dinner with his kids, no matter what. And when you're a politician or whatever, you're a newscaster, whatever it is, you make it a priority to be there for their games when they need you and be present. And that's what you got to do.
My one Grant Woods story is I was anchoring with Marlene Galan.
Oh, yeah.
Before they even got married at a
wow.
different TV station. I won't even mention which
Okay.
one. But I got to go to the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
John McCain was there.
Oh, my
the
gosh.
longtime Arizona senator. They got married up there in Sedona.
Yeah.
And gosh, they were a beautiful and happy couple.
They were.
Grant passed way too
Way
soon.
I
too
know.
soon.
He was pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
The other thing in the fun category, Celeste, whatever you want to jump in, but we, for everybody that we've had on the show, tell us something kind of fun and cool and maybe somewhat surprising about you that people otherwise wouldn't know. For example, Andy Biggs told us he has a garage band.
Yes, he has a garage band. Yes.
The governor says you can find her out cycling. She loves to go out cycling on Saturday mornings. Give us a tidbit.
Well, okay, two fun things. I have enjoyed becoming a gun owner, and I like to shoot, and I've been doing that more often. On a lighter note, though, I'm a really good badminton player.
Oh,
and,
are you?
Wow.
Yeah, and I was a almost state champion badminton player with my doubles partner
Wow.
from Prescott High School. I graduated Prescott High School, great badminton team. So Sunny Slopes, Xavier, and a couple of other new schools. And my daughter has started to play badminton, so we play on the weekends
Nice.
together
Cool.
and in my front yard. So
They have a lot of badminton programs in high schools these days.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a real sport.
It's a
okay?
real
I just want to be
sport,
clear.
yes.
It's a real
Right.
sport.
Is it called
Sure.
a birdie?
It's a birdie.
It's a birdie,
Also
yeah.
shuttlecock, but
Yeah.
they call it a birdie
Yeah,
now.
it's a
and-
cleaner term.
Yeah.
Careful,
Exactly.
Celeste.
Indeed.
Just
Careful.
throwing it out
Just
there.
a little friendlier term, yeah. So it's a really competitive sport and great for girls, and boys are now playing it too. As I understand it, I think some high schools are creating boys programs too, and it's an Olympic sport, men's and women's badminton.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay, back to the more serious stuff.
Yeah.
The how did you come down on the figure of 3% as a more appropriate increase? I'm sure there are thousands of people watching who are APS ratepayers. Their request was quite a bit higher, double digits, I
Yeah.
believe around
Yeah,
14%.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with a 3% figure?
So we took the extraordinary step, Ron, of deciding to intervene in the APS rate case and TEP in opposition to this rate increase. This is the third rate increase in a row by APS. The last one was also double digit. The one before was, I think, 3 or 4%. And I'm the first Attorney General to intervene in opposition to rate increases, and I thought it was necessary. This is I know this is going to sound strong, but this is just corporate greed at its worst. This is a monopoly utility that it made over $600 million in net profit last year. TEP made, Fortis, their parent company, made more than $1.6 billion in net profit. And and a lot of this is being driven by data center growth. And I don't think that Arizonans and Arizona utility customers of APS who can't go to anybody else, there's no competition here, they're stuck, should be paying for double-digit rate increases, and they certainly should not be paying for billionaires to build data centers in the state of Arizona.
Do you think we need some sort of state legislation or something that says if you want to come and build a data center, then you have to provide
100%.
all of the infrastructure to make it happen?
100%. I would love to see legislation that says exactly that. And at a minimum, the Corporation Commission, which has ultimate authority over these cases, should be saying that too. There is a provision that they've put that the utility has put forward to require the data centers to pay for some of themselves, but they should be paying for all of their infrastructure needs. And that's the way it used to be. Big residential consumers used to be subsidized by big commercial entities. Now, under this commission, they've sort of flipped it on its head, and they're trying to make residential consumers, homeowners, at a time when they can't afford rent or groceries, pay for these huge rate increases.
Yeah, and I think you have a unique perspective too, since you were on the Arizona
Yeah.
Corporation Commission for a number of years.
I did, and I have never seen a situation like this in the 25 years that I've been, teaching energy law at ASU, or being a corporation commissioner, or now being AG, where the utilities have asked for this many rate increases in a row. And Ron, you asked, how did we come up with the 3%? We hired an expert, and that expert came in and said this is all they need to attract capital going forward. And yes, we're a growing state, but this is a utility that made $600 million in net profit just last year.
My understanding, though, was that they had proposed a huge increase, like 14% on consumers. That would be a very large increase.
Yeah.
But I believe it was more like 40 or 45% on data centers. Did you like that part of it?
Yeah, that part of it is good, but I think that should be higher. I mean, I really, again, that should be a much higher number that gets us to a situation where the data centers are paying for themselves. And we also have another problem here, which is, can we afford all these data centers from a water standpoint, and can we afford them from a power standpoint? Our utility what's called interconnection queues, in other words, the customers who are signing up for them, are clogged with these data centers. So much so that some of the data centers now, there's one in the Northwest Valley, are building their own power plants inside residential communities.
Oh, wow.
Now imagine having bought a home, and all of a sudden you get a data center coming in, and then they build a power plant right next to you.
And your kids riding the bike around town. Yeah.
We have to have better planning for this, and we have to think about it. We got to think it through.
Well, we got to go. I will tell you one thing. You got 30 minutes. We only gave the governor 23 minutes.
Okay, I got 7 more minutes. Okay,
You did.
Well, it's been fun.
That's
It's
something
been
to brag about
thank
back at the
you.
office.
Thank you for
You'll
coming
have to
in.
come back because we still have a ton of questions.
I would love to come back. This has been great.
All right, we'll be right back.
10:45. We still have a lot to get to, Celeste, so we are going to move right on. We have a story that our Isabella Fredrickson has been following for us in the, as we call it, the breaking newsroom.
Hey, Bells. Good morning.
Bella.
Hello. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. What do you have?
Good. So we have some breaking news coming in this morning. Unfortunately, it's fatal. There was a Valley Metro bus that unfortunately struck a woman, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, we are still gathering information in terms of what happened, but officials do believe it was only the woman who was struck and the bus driver involved. We did listen in on a presser this morning. We will show you that here in a second, but, you know, we're still gathering those latest details if you want to play that sound.
Stand by, Isabella. We are efforting that for you right now, as a matter of fact. But, yeah, do we have that, Brian? Okay. Yeah. Okay. But, Isabella, what else did you learn?
Yeah, so we know that the Valley Metro bus, this accident happened near 59th Avenue and Van Buren Street. The pedestrian, the woman who was pronounced dead at the scene, has not been identified. And as mentioned, police have confirmed that the only person on the bus was the bus driver at the time. This is being investigated by Phoenix Police Department Lieutenant Ann Justice. She was the one who was providing that sound that we can hopefully pull up. But it happened earlier this morning. We had our reporter Danielle on the scene, of course, and it did result in a good amount of lane closures and traffic during the morning commute here in Phoenix.
Good day, FTT fam. Mr. Pavlin here.
Are having
Bells, I believe we have the sound
problems. Stand by.
Tragic. We lost a member of our community this morning, and that's heartbreaking for everybody involved, for the victim's family, friends, coworkers. It's also heartbreaking for the bus driver. As you can imagine, our bus driver's distraught right now, and for the first responders. So just please keep everybody in your thoughts this morning.
Yeah, and of course, we are still working out those latest details. We're hoping to get those into our newsroom. We're not sure if she was on the crosswalk. All of those details we're not sure of just yet. But of course, as soon as that comes into our newsroom, we'll let you know what we know.
Hey, you know what, Celeste? Before we let Isabella go, let's do this. It's National Burger Day.
Yes.
Bella, where do you go? Where's your number one go-to for burgers? Number one.
In-N-Out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, do you do double or you go the single patty?
I do a double, extra pickles, and protein style.
Ooh, I do protein style double, no special spread, sub mustard.
Same.
Oh.
Actually, the same exact orders.
Really? Oh my gosh, Bells and I.
I was driving home yesterday. It was kind of mid-afternoon, and I thought, I'm too hungry to wait for dinner. I pulled right into an In-N-Out.
And were the fries so good?
The fries are amazing.
Yeah, they gave me a little salt packet too, you know, and I just put the salt on there.
This is something we're rarely unanimous on anything. Isabella, thank you.
Thank you, Bells.
Okay, now the other thing is, I guess this is the topic of today's viewer.
Look at Mr. Paul Valine, Ron. I just want to share. I like my burger animal style, Mr. Paul Valine.
Okay, we have him on viewer voicemail.
Yes.
I'm just going to let you roll it, Brian. Whatever number saw it, go. All right, here we go.
TT fam, Mr. Pavlin here, just saying good morning on this beautiful day where they say it's going to be 90 degrees. I wish it was 123 because I got to make that money. But, hey, I'll take the 90 degrees because it's beautiful outside with all the birds chirping out here. And today's National Burger Day, and I think I'm going to do In-N-Out Burger. It's one of my favorite places. I hope everybody has a great day, and I hear this on TV. Hope to talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.
Oh, Mr. Paul Valine. Oh, Mr. Paul Valine is out.
Paul Valine out.
Thank you. Thank you for watching and hanging with us and for your voicemail.
602-262-0428. By the way, Celeste, some of these burger deals are really pretty impressive today. So here's what we've learned so far. If you are in the BK Rewards program, you can get a free burger with any $3 purchase. And I'm hoping, I don't know if it's a Whopper, it might be a Whopper Junior, but even the Whopper Junior is $4, and the Big Whopper is like $6.79. So either way, I think it's a pretty good deal. Carl's Jr., you can supposedly buy a famous Star Burger for a penny.
Wow, a
That
penny?
seems like a pretty good deal.
It's going to be hard to find a penny if you don't have one. They don't even make them anymore. Maybe
Go ahead, hand over your credit card, ask them to swipe it for 0.1.
Unless you have do you have a, remember when you had a jar and you drop your change in or something like that? Maybe go dig in your change jar.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Jack in the Box customers are also eligible for a free Junior Jumbo Jack.
Yes.
With any purchase of $1 or more.
Oh, so good.
I love the sound
How
of
do you
all
like
that.
your burger at In-N-Out, by the way? We got Bella's.
I go extra. I go heavy on the onion.
Heavy
That's
onion.
about it.
Do you go single patty or double?
I'm usually double.
Yeah.
And I get 3 sides of spread. The spread is outstanding.
I believe someone said they go animal style. Was that you, Burger Boy? He said, I got that. Oh, I got that style for my fried mustard.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, the other thing that we wanted to talk about today is that it is the new travel trend is tiny town travel. And so the whole thing is people are fed up with these airfares. They're fed up with these gas prices. They're fed up with... Try to look and see what hotels are in places like Chicago or New York City or Southern California or San Diego. A lot of these big city prices are out of control. So Celeste and I are going to give you a few hot tips on tiny towns to go explore. Celeste, are you ready? This will be super fun.
Hot tips on tiny towns.
Hot tips. Okay. We are going to start with, I need graphics 3. There we go. Okay, so last year, now look, Minneapolis is not a tiny town, and I'm at a Minnesota Twins game, but I loved my time in Minnesota, Celeste, so much. Duluth blew me away.
Oh,
you're like you're on oceanfront property.
Well, because you're right there on one of the big lakes.
It's like George Strait could have sang oceanfront property in not Arizona,
Duluth,
but Minnesota. But Duluth is amazing, and there were several other towns across the state that I just loved getting a chance to explore. And Bob Dylan's hometown is in Minnesota, and there's a guy you can drive right past the house that if you love old rock music.
Yes.
There's a sign in the front yard, and it gives the guy's phone number who lives next door. He's like, "Want a tour? Call me."
Oh, that's right. We saw that.
I'll be over in a minute.
You went in there.
Yes.
Yeah, you took a tour. My parents, my stepdad is from Wisconsin, little town called Frederick. And so for, I don't know, years, almost 30 years, something like that, they have been going to Duluth, and my mom and him will travel up to right on the water. And it is so beautiful.
It really is neat.
It's just gorgeous.
Okay, so there's option number 1, Celeste. Hang on. Let me get to yours here. Ready?
Well, we can go with yours.
Go for it.
Okay, this one is up north of Seattle, Deception Pass, near up
Anacortes?
there, and near Anacortes.
Ooh.
And there's like a state park there that a little trail. But when you're driving up north there, this is like way far north. You're almost into Canada.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that might be Canada on the other side of the water, right?
Okay.
But you're so far up there. They have these little towns that you can drive through, and that was the shot of the ice cream that I showed you. So we stopped at this little shrimp hut.
Okay, let me go back
the
to
way
the
up
ice
there.
cream. Where's the ice cream?
And then
where's the ice cream?
We stopped in this little part of that area near Deception Pass.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was like there were flower fields, and there was this farmer's market with an ice cream shop.
Oh my gosh.
And so the 5 of us stopped. We were driving through and stopped for ice cream, and we took some pictures and just kind of enjoyed the day.
And by the way, that's where in Anacortes, that's where you can catch the ferry to go over to the San Juan Islands.
Yes.
And those are also little towns on every one of those islands. I bet you can get an Airbnb or a Vrbo for pretty cheap.
Or maybe you stay on, the mainland portion, but you just take the ferry over, which is a really cool experience, very inexpensive.
Yeah.
And you even just walk around the small little town on the harbor. There's so many cool spots up that way.
Oh, I love it.
Tiny towns.
Okay, so take a look here. My next option for you is North Dakota. Mm-hmm. That's their state capital. But when you go inside, it is the most cool Art Deco building that you maybe will, in your whole life, will ever walk into. And right over there to my left is the State Museum in Bismarck. that they have dinosaur bones and all that, but Celeste, they have dinosaur skin.
Ooh.
From an old dinosaur that was preserved for thousands and thousands of years.
I wonder how they preserve that.
I don't know. I don't know how
I'm
they
surprised
do it.
nobody made heels out of it yet.
Right? But Minot is a really cool town. They have a big Scandinavian festival every year. You got to tell
Yes,
Gary
they
about
do.
that. Fargo is also amazing. I just loved everything. And by the way, the Theodore Roosevelt National Park on the far western, almost into Montana, is worth spending a whole day at. So we had those as well. I think maybe we might have one more. So we had that one from you. Oh, yeah. And then the other one is, if you don't want to go too far away, in Utah, that's Capitol Reef.
Oh.
And so Bryce Canyon and Capitol Reef and Zion, and what's the other one?
Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, St.
Cedar Breaks.
Cedar Breaks. You have St. George.
So those are all the national parks, but St. George is a super cool town to hang out in.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of great restaurants.
Yes, such a cool town.
And it's just on the other side of the Arizona state line. So it's a pretty quick drive to get up there, but I'm telling you, the hiking up there.
It's really brilliant. It's just so beautiful.
incredible.
And it's different topography. Like what you're looking at right here is totally different than you'll see in other parts of Utah. Don't they have the most number of national parks?
I think they do.
Of any state in the I was going to say the Union.
In the Union. Yeah, there you
In
go.
the country.
We won that war.
Yeah, we did.
But anyway, those are a few suggestions for small towns. Also, let's see. Linda is saying Portland, Maine is lovely. Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And Bentonville. I keep hearing good things about Arkansas.
Yeah, we got to check out the South a little bit more.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know? So maybe you want to share what your tiny town. Ron, can we throw up that number again real quick with the voicemail?
On the viewer voicemail.
So if you have a great tiny town experience that you've maybe want to do or you've traveled to, or maybe you're from a really cool tiny town, you can share, maybe, hey, this is my hometown and this is what I love about it. Share it with us. We would love to hear about it because I think there's so many tiny towns, especially through like Wisconsin, Minnesota, the Midwest that, we just don't have time to get to.
Yeah. I think that's 602-262-0428.
Thank you, Big D.
Give us your first name, where you're calling from, and your favorite tiny town.
And your social security number. Just kidding. Have a great day.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
And yeah, Ron, if you want to do...
Oops, wrong button. Sorry.
There's our guest.
There's our guest.
Jam-packed. We're just jam-packed right out of the top.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is 11 o'clock on your Thursday. We're going to keep things rolling here on Fox 10 Talks. And we have a very special guest with us. We've already been peppering him with so many questions, and he just sat down. So I think we're going to have a really interesting conversation.
Nice and close to the mic for us.
We have Lucas
Yeah,
Woolf here. Lucas, introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Name's Lucas Woolf. I'm a wildland fire investigation expert. So I'm a retired U.S. Forest Service Special Agent. Was our national and international wildland fire investigation specialist, and had a career in that and wildland firefighting with the U.S. Forest Service. So now have my own private international consulting, investigation, training, mentorship firm, and so yeah, kind of all things wildland fire.
Ty and I have both been privy to, I guess, kind of walking the line out there with you guys. We've covered a lot of wildfires in Arizona and have been on the front lines watching you guys work, and it's a very, very difficult task. But I can't even imagine how difficult it is to try to figure out how a wildfire starts.
The origin.
Where it starts.
Yeah, it's so it's quite a process. It's, you know, there's a systematic methodology that we have to follow, and it's kind of based on the scientific method. And there's definitely as much art as there is science in wildland fire investigation. And, you know, to kind of simplify it, it's wildland fires start small and grow big, and so and with more intensity. So for us to find the origin and the cause, we basically go from the area of most damage and work our way back to the area of least damage at the fire, and that's where we'll find the origin and the cause.
So the least damage would be where it started?
Yeah, where it started.
Really? Why's that?
Because wildland fires start small and low intensity. And so as they, you know, grow and grow in intensity, then, you know, there's more damage. And so the fire leaves behind what we call fire burn pattern indicators, which basically is kind of a trail, breadcrumb trail right back to the origin area.
Now, I mean, we have unfortunately covered a lot of wildfires, as Anita mentioned. Is an investigator always going out to every scene? Because we oftentimes hear this is not weather related, or this was not weather caused, meaning that they don't think that this was sparked from Mother Nature, this was human caused. Is every fire investigated then?
So yeah, by U.S. Forest Service policy, you know, when I was involved with the agency, every human-caused fire was required to be investigated at some level. And over 85% of wildland fires are human-caused.
85%?
Over 85%.
What if you don't know? I mean, do they send you guys out right away when, you know, what was the last one that we had? The Jones fire, let's say, was someone that was burning here. I mean, are you dispatched pretty much immediately knowing that you're going to need to look into that? Or are they able to look at the patterns while it's burning and say, no, we think this is lightning, so we're not calling anyone in?
Yeah, so if there's a question about it, yeah, an investigator needs to go and confirm that, because sometimes you don't know, because there could be just one of those instances like we got a little, you know, path of lightning over, you know, the last day or so, 24 hours in there. So if we got some new starts, doesn't necessarily means it's lightning, but it could be. And then so yeah, there needs to be that determination. And yeah, as when I was you know, as still a special agent with the U.S. Forest Service, I would get the dispatch immediately and go out. And then now I usually come in long after. You know, sometimes, you know, I could be a day or two behind or whatever.
You mentioned 85% of these wildfires are human caused. The majority of these are accidents. What I guess, is it carelessness? Is it lack of understanding? Is it lack of, I guess, what is it? What causes these fires?
Yeah, it is some common sense that isn't. I mean, like, so we'll talk about, you know, dragging your chains on your
we talk about that every summer
up the mountain. It happens. My son was driving to Payson the other day and watched a vehicle dragging a chain, lit off like 8 fires, and they were all pulling over, and they got them all out, like nothing ever happened. But the beeline, as we know, every year, it's very common, you know, to have that highway shut down because of that reason alone. And then there is abandoned campfires and fireworks and shooting and some careless acts that, you know, people just don't think about it. They just don't really think it can happen because such a little spark can, you know, fire something off. But yeah, vehicle fires are a lot. You know, vehicles catch on fire all the time, especially down here in the hot desert. And they catch on fire on the side of the road and start a fire. But and we've got arsonists. I mean, that's part of it. And then we've got, power lines and railroads and equipment use and all that other stuff that cause wildland fires too. So, yeah, for the most part, criminal acts, technically, there's not, arson's not, really at the top of the list, but there's plenty of it.
Sure.
So when you're investigating a fire, what does a fire that was started by a lightning strike look like? What does that origin look like versus where someone threw out a cigarette and a bunch of leaves and you can barely see them, they're all burned? What are the differences? Could you even describe what that looks like, how you happen upon that scene?
So a lot of times, like with lightning, it's usually pretty easy because usually a tree's involved and you'll see a fresh lightning strike on the tree.
Even though the whole area is burned?
Yeah, because usually that tree won't have burned.
Really?
It'll burn very light. Like I said, they start small, very small, low intensity, and then it grows from there. And so all that evidence will be left behind. It's usually pretty clear when it's a lightning strike. And then as far as, say an arson device or an abandoned campfire or say a debris burn pile at somebody's property that escapes on, to public lands or whatever, starts a wildland fire, you'll be able to see that too. It's, pretty evidence once you get to the origin area.
Mr. Woolf, I'm just fascinated by your former job. But so would they call you out right away, like as soon as a fire starts, or would it be after it's out? Or when would you get on scene as an investigator?
So as an investigator, like I said, with the U.S. Forest Service, so the government has the primary jurisdiction, and they're the first investigators there, and they need to be called immediately. So yeah, I would get the dispatch immediately. I would get called and I would just go.
How quickly would you need to be there? 24, 48 hours?
I need to, as contemporaneous to the start of the fire as possible. If I could be there within 10 minutes, great. If sometimes it's a day or two, or I have to travel. I was our incident commander for our national incident, wildland fire investigation team, and so we were nationwide, and we'd go. And sometimes it would take days to get to a place. But usually we have somebody in place to lock down the scene, protect the scene. The fire suppression resources are there to, they're trained. That's one of the first things you learn is to preserve the origin area and to preserve that evidence.
Last question. What's the biggest fire you've solved?
Wildfire, Arizona.
Wow.
That was my case.
When was that? I remember that.
It was 2010, I believe.
We covered that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I didn't get here till 2013.
Yeah.
But man, I've heard about the wildfires since I got here about how devastating it was. So man.
Yeah.
Well, man, you've been a wealth of knowledge. We're going to have you back because I've got a million more questions. Unfortunately, our time doesn't allow for it, but we'll definitely keep you on the Rolodex here, and we'd love to have you back.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time.
It's good to be here.
Man, it is just, I was looking at these images of these wildfires. It's almost impressive but terrifying to see, isn't it? So really cool job.
It boggles my mind how they can solve these.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
It's literally like looking for a match in a haystack.
Right?
Quite literally. Quite literally.
All right, we're going to switch gears here this morning. We're talking about distracted driving, and not too long ago, we had one of the sergeants from DPS here talking about distracted driving.
And they were talking about how many citations they issued and how they're really amping up patrols, keeping an eye out for people on their cell phone.
Yeah.
It's been a law for a while, but the problem is that they didn't have the enforcement, so now they're really enforcing.
And our next guest, unfortunately, knows all too well the dangers of distracted driving. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing great. Thank you so much for coming on. Sarah, can you tell us your backstory? Tell us why you're here.
Well, my backstory is basically, my son passed away about 3 years ago in a devastating accident where a lot of it had to do with distracted driving and with TikTok. He was actually watching social media. He did actually, but not head on, but basically rear-ended another vehicle, which my son was in, another vehicle, and smashed it into another semi-truck, and then it burned for 4 hours, going 68 miles per hour, watching TikTok.
This was another driver, not your son? Or
no, my son was the one that passed away. He wasn't the driver.
He wasn't the driver.
He was just a passenger.
And that's oftentimes, like with drunk driving, distracted driving, it's the really innocent people who lose their lives.
Yes, and it was 5 people that lost their lives. It wasn't just my son, which is very sad and unfortunate. But that's where I kind of wanted to speak out about it, because he wasn't convicted for distracted driving. He was convicted as more of a manslaughter because social media is so different than it is text messaging or a DUI. So I think that's what made it a big difference, because he wasn't charged for that. It took about 6 months to find out that he was watching TikTok, and he was actually picked up and convicted. So that's where I think a lot of people need to have the awareness of that social media site. It's really social media. People are watching or doing lives just driving down the road.
I see person after person after person on their phone driving, and it's at every age. It's, people think the teenagers do it because they're irresponsible or new drivers. I mean, I think I was driving home yesterday in the 51, and it was a middle-aged man who was on his phone, and you just want to honk your horn and say, please pay attention to the road.
Right, and I think that maybe out there needs to be some kind of censoring, not just accountability, because it's hard for DPS to catch everyone, right? So we're hitting against, there is a law that's already there, but I think that there needs to be accountability with the actual social media sites, and maybe shutting down into the, in the vehicle, because I think that has a big thing as far as like being social media. If you're going live, you're not paying attention. You're not. And we did see that on there, that we were actually, he was actually live on TikTok at the time of the accident, and it wasn't just 5 people. He actually injured multiple people in that road.
Affected a lot of lives. You wrote a book. Tell us about your book.
Yes, I actually wrote a book about it. It's called Citizens Pray. And Citizens Pray has a law. It's called Loss, Grief, and Litigation, and it talks about the grief that I went through and the litigation that I went through, going through this process and seeing the true colors coming from not just with the trucking company, but with the driver as well. And the more I was in litigation, it was very hard, and going through that, and it's like I had to relive it all over again. And I wrote a book about it to teach people that, fight for your rights and have a better understanding of, the destructive driving and how serious it could be.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, by you speaking up, I think you're going to save lives, hopefully, because I think I think it is kind of an epidemic as more and more people are distracted with these little devices that we carry around everywhere we go. Sarah, thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Thanks for sharing.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
We'll be right back, guys.
All right, welcome back, you guys. We are going to take a live look right now at the White House, where the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, is talking about the Trump accounts that went live beginning today. We're going to listen in here for just a short minute.
So he's not going to take a bad deal. He's going to make a great deal for the American people. So, Peter,
Thank you, Dr. Bessent.
Yep.
How long until we see your signature next to President Trump's face on a $250 bill?
Well, again, as Treasury Secretary, I have two mandates for U.S. currency. At present, no living person can be on U.S. currency, and the currency must say, "In God we trust." So right now there is proposed legislation in front of the House, in front of the Senate, to change the first requirement so that a living person, Donald J. Trump, could be on a $250 bill. So it's all in the hands of the. It's all up on Capitol Hill. So,
so you're listening to a press conference that's underway as we speak. This is a separate stream, so if you would like to continue to listen, we have a separate stream happening as we speak, if you would like to continue to watch.
They're talking about the tax-free investment accounts, the Trump accounts, so we'll have all that info up there as well. You took a fun ride yesterday.
I did. This is so exciting. Beginning today, if you are a Waymo lover, you might like this. They have a brand new vehicle out there. It's called the Ojai, and we were one of the first folks to be able to get a ride.
Awesome.
If you drive around the valley, you probably noticed those Waymo cars. They are everywhere these days, but starting today, you might be seeing something a little different on the road. These are the brand new Waymo cars, and you might be lucky enough to get a ride. And in fact, today, we are going to be one of the first passengers that gets aboard the new Ojai. So here we go. We've got Chris with us. He is with Waymo. Chris, thanks for having us along on this first ride. This is exciting.
I'm ready, but certainly safety first. Let's get our seatbelts on.
Buckle this baby up.
Let's close these doors.
Oh, look at that.
Push of a button.
I like this. This is very fancy, Chris.
Heading to 6519 East Oak Street.
Why did you guys name this vehicle the Ojai?
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Ojai is actually a city in California that's known for tranquility. It's known for serenity, and it's a place to go and relax. And certainly that's what we want people to feel like, to bring that same serenity to the in-car kind of experience here, whether you want to take a nap, you want to listen to your favorites. Podcast on Spotify, any number of things while you're in the vehicle. We just want you to feel calm, serene, and let the vehicle, really take control and get you where you're going safely.
People that are familiar with Waymo, first thing they're going to notice is this is a lot bigger, isn't it?
It is definitely a much roomier interior. From a vehicle size on the road, surprisingly not that much larger than the Jaguar, but as you can see, this being designed from the ground up for ride-hailing, for autonomous vehicles, allows so much more room for legs, for luggage, for really anything you want to make this personal space your own for. This is absolutely providing the kind of that platform and area to do it.
How difficult is it for you to kind of add another car to your fleet?
Certainly. So both the vehicle is new as this Ojai vehicle platform, but also this is utilizing the 6th generation of the Waymo driver. So the next generation beyond the Jaguar I-Pace that you're used to, with the hardware, software, kind of the full autonomous technology that we add to this base platform is brand new. And is something that's providing additional capability for the vehicle with reduced complexity from the number of sensors on the car, and certainly helping bring down costs so that we can scale to higher numbers of vehicles on the road for both here in Phoenix, where the vehicle is actually integrated at our manufacturing facility just out down the road in Mesa, and hopefully this vehicle and other vehicles to come with that 6th generation driver, like the Hyundai Ioniq, our next platform beyond this, that's also being validated and prepared for riders, that is also being integrated down the road at Mesa.
I think a lot of people are going to be like, okay, when do I get to try out the Ojai if they are Waymo lovers? How do they know when they might be able to score a ride in one of these bad boys?
Absolutely. So in the coming weeks, we are going to be inviting select riders, especially those very active riders, as you can imagine, to begin taking rides with Ojai here in Phoenix. So when it is your turn, when you get tapped, you certainly keep an eye on your app, keep an eye on your email, and for those select riders taking those early trips, those will be free as well. So we're providing those for free because we really want to get that valuable feedback. We want to really hear from you, those real Waymo enthusiasts on the brand new experience. And then later this year we will transition and open that fully open to everyone in Phoenix, as well as transition that to our commercial service and charge for trips as we currently do with Jaguars.
Okay, a couple comments in the chat.
Okay, go on.
Lil Philosophy says it seems smaller than the Jaguar, followed by Louis Gonzalez, who says seems too narrow for 3 in the back. What say you?
You know what? It's hard to see, but the leg room you get is much greater.
Okay.
And it might be a little snug for 3
maybe
people
like 3
back there.
kids or 3 smaller people.
Yeah, but
I did like the blue seatbelts.
I like the blue seatbelt too. So there you go. You might see them starting to roll around town. The new Ojais from
First
Waymo.
time I took a Waymo, I have to admit I was very anxious and felt I had completely give up control.
But then once you get the hang, like I was kind of the same way, and then once it starts rolling, you're like, man, this is great.
Because I was thinking, wait, I need to go back home. Who am I forgot something, and I'm like, who do I tell I forgot something to? And Johnny's like,
no one.
You're not taking it with.
You're leaving it.
Well, why aren't seatbelts different colors anyway?
I agree.
Yeah.
They should be.
Yeah.
What color would you want your seatbelts to be, BK?
Pink.
Orange.
Pink. Orange.
Oh,
that's
like a safety vest.
Yeah,
Watch
there
out,
you
here
go.
comes BK.
This should be an option, right?
You all know and love Brian Kae. He is our drone zone master.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
One of them, one of 2.
Yes.
We don't want to leave Joe out.
That was some great drone video, though, in the Waymo.
Yeah, from Levi.
Levi, gotta go Rooster.
Yeah. Oh, his name's Rooster.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Goose.
And what's Joe's?
Iceman.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
All right. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about the Drone Zone segment that's airing today at 4 p.m. on Fox 10 Phoenix. It's Bedrock City near Williams, Arizona.
How far is that from here?
That was about a little over a 3-hour drive.
It's way up there, isn't it?
But I'll tell you what, it's worth it.
Yabba
Is it
dabba
really?
do.
I mean, have you ever been to a Flintstones town?
No, sir, I have not.
Yeah, it's basically like the cartoon. You can walk in all the buildings.
Do you
It's
get to
got all
drive
the-
that car?
You can sit
with
in the
your
car,
feet?
yeah. I mean, I didn't try it,
Okay.
but
Well, you're
I
a big
think-
guy.
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
is
sure I
that
can-
Wilma?
That's
Betty.
Betty.
That's Betty in the
She's
school.
teaching class there.
Was Betty a teacher in the cartoon? I didn't remember that.
I don't remember what her occupation was in the cartoon.
Okay, but this has been there for years.
Yes, it started in the 70s.
Wow.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, and it was bought out by the new owners of Raptor Ranch in 2019, I believe. Troy is one of the owners. He was taking me around, and they were initially going to just get rid of Bedrock City.
Can't get rid of Bedrock
But
City.
there were so many people that said, no, there's just so many memories tied to this. This is like, old roadside attraction.
Yeah.
Route 66. Like, you don't see stuff like this anymore.
So people can just pull over and walk through it?
Well, it's a location. Yeah, they have Raptor Ranch, Bedrock City. They have like a little restaurant there.
I like
gas
that little
station,
family room right
convenience
there.
store. Yeah, and you can pay to go walk around Bedrock City and then experience the Raptor Ranch experience with their birds of prey. But yeah, this is just one of the things you don't see anymore. It's kind of like that old, you're taking a road trip across the United States and you stop at all these different roadside attractions. Nostalgia, very nostalgic.
That's cool.
So
look at that. How many? This is quite large.
Yeah, I want to say, man, I don't remember how many acres it is, but yeah, it'll take a while to walk around and visit all the different areas and see all the different displays, and it's very. Take pictures, you get a lot of pictures out of it. It's just a great experience. And it's right between Williams and the Grand Canyon. So if you're headed up, driving up to the Grand Canyon, you're going to go by it anyways. There's a huge Fred Flintstone sign out.
Ty.
Yeah, the Bedrock Jail.
We have a question.
Yes.
From Lil Philosophy. How has it survived this long? Wow. Did they tell you? What the upkeep
they
was?
do. Yes, they do upkeep regularly. They have a guy there that's his job is just to maintain the buildings and the paint, deco, and all that stuff. And they have a brontosaurus slide, which you can see in the middle. I did go down that.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Terrifying. Oh Oh my gosh.
That's
it was
like a
fun.
Are you
fast
going
slide.
from like the head of the dinosaur to the tail, or where does it start? The
Yeah,
slide.
you climb up, like, I guess from like the belly, you climb up the steps, you go up on the back, and then you just slide down the tail, just like the cartoon.
What was your favorite, I guess, section?
The jail was
the
cool.
jail. Okay.
The jail was really cool to walk through because you can go behind the bars. You can take a picture with the little placard when they arrest you. The grocery store was cool because it had a bunch of stuff from the cartoon. Like, do you remember the brontosaurus ribs?
Yeah.
In the beginning of the Flintstones cartoon. This is the barber shop right here. It had the elephant with
the water.
You get the water, like
I see.
everything from the cartoon.
Cool.
Like, you guys watched the cartoon,
Yeah.
right? It was
They
syndication
recreate it.
growing up.
We have
How
2
fun.
minutes left. You want to show us?
Oh
the
yeah,
other
the
part
birds of
it?
prey, the Raptor
There's
Ranch
more.
part of it.
We
They have
more
birds
video.
of prey. They have everything from hawks, falcons, owls.
Wait, these
everything.
are live birds?
Yes.
I would skip this.
Well, it is pretty awesome because they let them out of their enclosure.
Oh.
The birds fly freely, and then they come to you on the glove. It's quite the experience. And you're allowed to do this. Like, these birds are so well behaved and so well trained, and they fly in the air and they come back to you. That's Ashley, I believe her name is. She's one of the trainers there. But
Wait, so BK, this is right next door.
it's in
Yeah,
the
you
Bedrock
see-
City.
It's
Yeah.
part of it.
Look, you
Okay.
can see the
Well, that's
dinosaur.
okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, just making sure.
So it's such a great stop because you get
A double whammy.
A double whammy. Two things you don't think would work totally work here.
Now, how often are they doing? Are the birds out every day, or just to make sure you're okay?
How many birds?
They have, I don't know how many birds they have. A lot. They have falcons. They have hawks. They have owls. They just had baby barn owls that you'll see at the 4 p.m. after the segment airs. We're going to show those.
I did something similar to this at Liberty
Look,
Wildlife.
it goes right there on
Do you remember?
the volcano.
Oh, that is cool.
That
It's like
is
his little perch up there.
Yeah.
But the bird landed on my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Anita, she's not a big fan
Did
of
the
it.
bird poop on you?
That would be good luck.
That is, I've been told that's good luck too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
would be fine with that because I'll take all the good luck I can get. That's a good shot right there.
Yeah, that's
wow.
beautiful.
Beautiful is right.
Do you remember the bird's name?
Hawkeye.
For real? Or are you making that up?
No, it's
oh,
real.
I thought you were
real.
making that up.
We really thought you were making that up.
Yeah, and that's the owl right there.
30 seconds, 10, actually 20.
So
When do we watch it?
watch the Drone Zone, Bedrock City, Raptor Ranch, 4 p.m. on Fox 10 Phoenix. We're trying to do some more Drone Zone shows as well. So,
are you on hiatus right now?
Well,
summer break.
Summer break.
If you've been missing them, maybe you need to email Fox10Talks.
We're not getting involved. We're not getting involved in that bureaucracy.
Hello, everybody. It's Ron and Celeste. There's Josh Kolsrud. We almost have all of these shots lined up.
We are.
Celeste, let me also tell you that Dean Fazzini has told me that this is, we have Dean's choice as he picks one camera. This is not the mystery cam. It's just welcome to the next half hour.
Oh, nice.
And it's Paducah, Kentucky.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Kentucky?
I've never been to Kentucky, no.
Okay.
It looks beautiful, though.
Oh, my gosh.
I bet so you have two churches, it looks like, across. One has a couple of, rounded, roof type thing. Did you see that, Ron, on the left? And then you have
the rounded roof, yes.
And then you have the steeple across the street. They're competitors.
Okay.
It's like the Lutherans and the Episcopalians.
Oh, look at that. See, everybody's getting along. If you got the Lutherans and the Episcopalians, those are two of the most get-along churches you could have.
Maybe they're going to lunch together.
I hope so.
After church on Sunday.
Here's the thing about Paducah. Did you know it's the quilt capital of the world?
Oh, my gosh.
If you love quilts, do you have an old quilt your grandma made or something like that?
I have a quilt that is halfway made that I made for my kiddos.
Ooh.
That I need to finish.
Okay, well, they have the National Quilt Museum, and literally people fly in from all over the world for their quilt shows.
That is so great.
So anyway, there you go. It's Paducah, Kentucky, and you remember Lewis and Clark?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Clark is from Paducah. He actually started the town.
Oh, my goodness.
He laid out the original town plat. So we try to, one thing about this show is this. You learn new things every day.
It's like our segment, Learn New Things.
Learn new things.
That's one of the perks of FTT.
There you are. Hey, by the way, Josh is coming up in about 2 minutes. But Celeste, we thought maybe the best route to take would be to go live to the courthouse right now. There's so much interest in the Allison Feldman murder case. The man who committed the crime has already been convicted.
Yes.
But now everything seems to be sort of up in a jumble regarding where we go from here.
All right, let's go to Brian. He's at the courthouse. Hey, buddy, good morning.
Hello, guys. Yeah, it is. It just is one saga after another with this case. So there was a mistrial yesterday in the sentencing phase for Ian Mitcham, convicted of murder, sexual assault, and burglary. But apparently by law, and double check with Josh on all this, please, but by law, the judge can handle the sex assault and burglary sentencing, which she did today. He got 3.5 years for burglary, 7 years for sexual assault. But a jury needs to decide whether Ian Mitcham, after being convicted, gets life in prison or the death penalty. So that part will have to start all over with a new jury. They'll have to come in and not go through the trial again, but we'll have to start at this weird stage where they're just looking at the penalty phase of it. I guess kind of a Cliff Notes version of that trial that just went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, which kind of boggles the mind how that's going to happen. But I guess once that first jury said yesterday we cannot come to a decision, then there are some rules in place where the judge can't make them make a decision, or that might be called coercion. So after they send a note saying we have not reached a unanimous decision and we will not reach a unanimous decision, the judge...
Oh, you just cut out right there at the end, but I want to double check your mic because I think we might have one or two quick questions for you. So, Brian, is it your understanding, because there's multiple options out there, is it your understanding prosecutors have decided to move forward with impaneling a new jury? That will be the next step?
Yes, there was I think it's called a status hearing set for June 29th, I believe, that then they will decide when they're going to try or do the sentencing phase again on the murder conviction. So that will go forward as far as we know as of now. And there's just so much invested in this already. And they got the conviction. But as we were talking on Fox 10 Talks yesterday afternoon, you might think that getting the conviction would be the harder part with all the evidence and testimony back and forth. But then you get to that finish line, so to speak, then you have to have a jury unanimously decide on the death penalty. So if you have just one juror in there who who says they are adamantly against that, then you're at a standstill, and that ended up being what tripped them up in the end, as far as we stand right now.
Okay, that's our Brian Webb standing by out there in front of the courthouse, and this will be a great chance to bring Josh in right now.
Yeah, hey Josh.
Josh, how unusual is this now? I mean, this jury was so intimately familiar with this case. Now they have to start over? Not on the conviction, but on the next phase.
Can I kind of go through some of the drama that happened this week?
Absolutely, lay it out for us.
So, just for the viewers to, just kind of catch up what happened. So, earlier this week, the judge unilaterally dismissed one of the jurors. And this is unusual because, generally speaking, a juror is dismissed after a judge collaborates with the prosecutor and the defense attorney. So if a juror does something that they're not supposed to do, a judge will bring it to the attention of the prosecutor and the defense attorney, and then there will be arguments about whether or not the juror should be dismissed or not, and then the judge will decide. But here, it's reported that the judge just dismissed the juror without even asking the opinion of either one of the prosecutor or the defense attorney. So it had to have been so extraordinary what this juror did that the judge was like, I have to do this. So the judge brought on an alternate, and that alternate came on to the jury and deliberated with the panel yesterday. And we all know what happened yesterday, and this was not to the benefit of the prosecutor. So the alternate juror did not help the prosecution. And yesterday, around 2 o'clock, the judge received a note from a juror saying that they were at an impasse. There was just a 2-line note saying that they could not find any resolution in the case, that they could not agree on a verdict. And the judge brought in the prosecution and the defense, and the defense said that this should be a mistrial. And the judge said, well, I'm going to send the jury back in there to deliberate. And the defense is like, well, hold on, Judge. If you do that, that's coercion, because the jury has already made their decision, and if you do that, you're telling them that they've made the wrong choice, and you're inserting yourself into the deliberative process, and that's an appealable issue. And the judge then declared a mistrial about an hour later. So I think that the judge took that to heart and made the correct decision, because what you don't want is for the jury to then find for the death penalty and then for it to get overturned by the Supreme Court later on. So the judge declared a mistrial, and now we're at the point where the prosecution has to decide whether or not it's going to go for the death penalty again. Now, in Arizona, the prosecution gets 2 attempts at the death penalty. Now, we've seen this before in another famous case, the Jodi Arias case.
Yes.
Where, Juan Martinez, the famous prosecutor from Maricopa County, he went for the death penalty for a second time, and it took about 17 months to go from the first death penalty phase, where it was a mistrial, to the second death penalty phase, where it was also a mistrial. So it was a long time between the first death penalty trial to the second death penalty trial. But it was also a lot higher profile. But it can take a long time between the first trial and the second trial. But here, I would expect that it's probably going to happen a little bit faster. There is a status conference in a couple weeks where I would expect that the court will set a second trial relatively quickly if the Maricopa County Attorney's Office does decide to do a second trial, but they haven't indicated yet whether or not they're going to do that.
So when you say they start again, they start over, how much of that process is rehashed?
It's a long process. They're going to have to do another death panel certified jury. And That can take,
choosing a whole new jury.
Yes.
What does death panel certified mean?
It means another 6 to 8 weeks of choosing a jury that can be fair and impartial for just the death penalty phase of this trial.
But
right?
hold on one second, Josh. It sounds to me like somebody is philosophically opposed to the death penalty.
Yeah, so they need to
Aren't
weed
they
out
supposed
those
to weed
people.
those kind of people out?
They are. And that's why this is so difficult. Because let's say that somebody was on the panel yesterday and they were like, look, I just can't issue the death penalty or vote on the death penalty because I'm against the death penalty. That person should not be on that panel because they took an oath to set aside any personal bias and to be open-minded to vote for or against the death penalty if certain facts are present. They took an oath to say, look, if certain aggravating factors are present, I will vote for the death penalty. That's what the oath says. And if they have that attitude, they were required to recuse themselves from the jury process. And, the judge has a requirement, so the defense attorneys and the prosecutors, to strike them from the panel if a juror indicates during voir dire that they cannot be fair and impartial.
Is there? And we have to take a quick break, so maybe just in 30 seconds, if you can talk about this. But is there a chance somebody had an issue with the familial DNA?
If they did, it was irrelevant, and it should not have been brought. So that was a
Josh,
legal issue.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
Sure.
We're right up against the break.
Okay.
Celeste and I at the exact same second. We have commercials.
That was a good curveball. It was a good curveball.
Okay.
I want to hear the answer,
Yes.
that's for sure. But you know what, Celeste? We never break format around here.
We've got our mystery camera this morning. It's a holy place, Ron.
Yes, it is. We'll be right back. Give us your guess.
Great question.
Okay, so we are getting your guesses, and we appreciate it because they're all over the map, Celeste.
Yes, they are. We've got a Tennessee. We've got also a few others out there. Montana from Low Philosophy. Ron, what are you going to go with?
Well, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
I don't want to take your guess.
I'm going to go with Idaho.
Oh, okay, great, because
Yeah.
I was going to go with Tennessee. It kind of reminds me of those lands around Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Either that or it's Rio de Janeiro. Doesn't they have a big cross or Jesus or something?
Yeah, it's a statue of Jesus called
Yeah.
Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube special on how they built that thing. You should go watch it sometime. It's quite amazing.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay, here is your answer this morning.
Okay.
It is Duff, Tennessee.
Duff.
Wow.
Wow. Home of the famous Duff beer from The Simpsons.
Really? And
Right.
maybe home to
Well,
Hillary Duff.
Who knows? Probably. Named for the famous Duff family. All right, so should we continue the convo?
Let's do it. Okay, so I asked about familial DNA. You said that was a different phase of the trial.
Yeah. So, if a juror had an issue with the DNA or any of the facts of the case, that would be more appropriate for the deliberation on the guilty or not guilty part of the trial. And because the defendant in the case, Ian Mitcham, has already been found guilty, the only thing that the jurors need to consider is whether or not the act of the defendant was so depraved that it warrants the death penalty. And the facts are not in dispute that the victim in this case was strangled, she was sexually assaulted, bleach was poured over her body, and she was again tortured, and she had a prolonged death. And are those circumstances such that it deserves death? That's the only thing that they have to consider.
And I think also the difficult part is that this one juror, for whatever reason we don't yet know,
And it could be more than one juror.
More one juror. They were dismissed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
The jurors were dismissed, and now we have to go back to the beginning of this portion
back
of
to
the
the drawing
trial.
board.
Yeah, and that's a time, taxpayer money, and a lot of
Sure.
other things.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, you said it was 17 months before they got to the second time around in Jodi Arias. Yeah, it was more high profile, but both cases are somewhat complex.
Yeah.
Could this drag out for months before we
yes.
even get to it? And
Yeah.
if so, why?
There can be additional motions that have to be litigated. There are a lot of different factors that come in here, especially because this is a death penalty case. It's also high profile, and the judges want to make sure that defendants' rights are obviously followed, that all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, because everything's going to be appealed. And because of that, things take time. Justice moves slowly, but it's also meticulous. So I would expect that this is not going to happen fairly quickly.
Okay.
And it'll likely take months, but I don't think it's going to take 17 months like Jodi Arias. It'll probably take place, if I had to guess, in 5 or 6 months.
Wow. All right, Josh, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Josh.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, we have this great interview coming up here in just about 1 minute with Andy Freed. He's the CEO of Virtual. But before we do that, we are going to check in with Big D and see if we can get a couple of comments from you. Our poll question today is, Pete Buttigieg is the surprise winner of a brand new poll that just came out today for the Democrats for 2028. What do you think? 14% say, yeah, maybe him or Kamala Harris, some of the bigger names from the last few years. 18% like a governor, like a Newsom, a Shapiro, or a Bashir, but 68% are saying somebody else. Tell us.
Oh, let us know who you think. All right, we're going to take a look at your YouTube poll as well here. Pete Buttigieg, number one for Democrats in 2028. Who's the party's best bet? Right now, 50% of you saying someone else. 35% say a governor like Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, or Andy Bashir. And any names that we're seeing in those comments, Big D?
tons of names. Let me try to go through as many as possible. Red in Surprise says I would go with Josh Shapiro. Hepcat620 says Fetterman could win. He has potential to pull back all the folks who defected to the Republicans. Michael Weinman says Gavin Newsom and Mark Kelly are both proven performers. Doobie Dave says I wish Senator Mark Kelly would throw his hat into the running for the Democratic nomination. He's a moderate. He's a real American patriot. He's a real American hero, and he would appeal to moderate Republicans. Christopher Weber says, please run Pete or Kamala or even Newsom. Chad Taylor says a fresh face would be best for the Democrats. It's a lot of the same people with the same views they have had for many years. J.C. French says I like John Ossoff. Mad Mardigan says Tallarico. Perry Parsons says Ruben Gallego. Bobo the Clown says Ro Khanna. So many ideas, so many great YouTube usernames. We love hearing from you guys on fox10phoenix.com/poll as well as on YouTube.
When you connect with Bobo the Clown, Celeste,
then you know you got it going on.
We're going deep on this.
I mean, I wonder, let's say Gavin Newsom, remember he had that whole shenanigan thing during COVID at the French Laundry.
Yeah, that will come up.
You know, sure. I think that's something that people remember, but you know, we've got great restaurants in Arizona.
Yeah, we do. All right, let's talk to Andy Freed. Now, he's the CEO of Virtual. We're going to all learn something, Celeste, today, I do believe, in this very interview, because, Andy, thanks for being with us.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. First of all, what is Virtual? And B, how do you help people become better communicators? I think we could all do a better job.
Yeah, so Virtual is a company that's been around for about 25 years, and we help organizations that are forming, growing, and changing, primarily technology standards bodies and industry consortia. So groups that might be coming up with, for example, a standard for mobile payment or credit card security with a lot of big tech companies, we help bring them together and help them create a common purpose and get their work done.
So you do a lot of work when it comes to crafting stories that deeply resonate with people. What does that mean? Like what types of stories and what type of people?
Sure. I think that, everyone in the end, it's funny that you just did the presidential poll, because so much of that is about storytelling and who can actually connect with people on terms and on terms and ideas that really matter to them. So for us, it's instead of talking about kind of Etsy standards and things that are kind of arcane for folks. It's what's the impact something has? How is it going to matter to somebody? And in the end, that's what politicians are trying to do. They're not trying to talk about individual laws. They're trying to talk about how they're going to make people's lives better and how they're going to improve it for folks. And whoever can do that best, that's going to be the answer to the poll that Doobie Dave was looking for.
Doobie Dave.
Okay, now we could all do a better job, I do believe, in being better communicators, whether it's trying to connect with people on an emotional level or just to get your point across at work. Do you have some tips and techniques for us?
Sure. I think so much of it is about just being intentional. I think that one of the biggest problems with communication right now is it's just gotten too easy. It looks so easy to just click a join button on Teams, and now you're talking to somebody halfway across the country. And as a result of that, people have started to lose the forethought that goes into it. So what I like to do is, before any communication, really sit down and think about, what do I want somebody to think, feel, and do after the communication? And thinking is important. It's kind of what's the idea on the level. Feeling, what kind of feelings do I want them to have? Do I want them to feel reassured? Do I want them to feel challenged? And then doing, what's the action step I have for that communication? Just taking the moment to think about those three things before you start communicating can make all the difference in the world.
What's maybe the best mode of communication? You mentioned a lot of things. Maybe is a text or an email a good mode, or is it obviously face-to-face? I feel like with nonverbal communication is always the best because things can be misconstrued, right? But you mentioned sometimes you're working in groups and you're around the country. You're not in the same room.
Yeah, no, I'll say face-to-face is certainly best. I mean, for the reasons you said, it's having that body language and having the ability to really kind of read the room, and text and email lack tone entirely. So somebody can read into an email and read into a text. So we've all done it, of getting a text from somebody and we kind of presume what their mood is. And an emoji is not enough in that case to tell you what somebody's mood is. So I'm a big fan of face-to-face. If you can't do that, then you can use tools like Zoom or Teams. But I'm also a fan on tools like that. Make sure you're leaving some time at the beginning and the end for people to really connect. It's talking to people about where they're from, building those connections. That's really what kind of builds trust. And trust in relationships will make the world go around.
So is it better, let's say you're about to have an important conversation. Maybe you're trying to close a deal, you're a salesperson, that kind of thing. Maybe you're going to talk to the boss about an important issue. Is it better to spend a minute or two talking about things that you both kind of jointly like to talk about, or is it better really to kind of get to the point?
No, I think it's better to start out with building that relationship. I mean, the depth of relationship is so important. And that's what got lost for a lot of folks during COVID, is we started to just click into a call and immediately dive into things. And with time, the trust that people had built for one another before COVID started to dissipate, and people's effectiveness and people's communication started to go down. So I think it's really important to build that relationship and build those common bonds when you can.
Sammy G, one of our commenters, one of our faves in our chat, she says, when you don't talk to people super often, don't forget to appreciate people for their time too. It really says a lot. At the end of the day, with all the technology and the AI and everything else involved, there's still something about gratitude, trust, character,
Absolutely.
And those things will never go away.
No, I mean, William James wrote years ago that the deepest human need is the need to be appreciated. And one of the things that I wrote recently in a book about the leadership lessons you can take away from Bruce Springsteen is if you watch a Springsteen show, the last thing he does every night is he stands at the back of the stage and he thanks every band member for their performance that night. And they've said that for 10 seconds every night, Bruce Springsteen makes me feel like the most important person on the face of the earth.
Aww.
Isn't that what we're trying to do with our teams? And that doesn't take much. As Sammy's right, it only takes a moment. That and being intentional in that moment of thanking somebody for their contribution and thanking them for what they've done can make all the difference in the world.
How can people connect with you?
Andy Fried.